Hello, welcome to Open Range. My name is Patrick Hart and I'll be your guest host today. Got to start out with a couple things. First off, thanks to Beck, thanks to the sponsors, and thanks for Gary Emineth for allowing us our time on his show. And really quick, who am I? I'm in front of you. I'm just a talking head today, but I'm really a contractor here in Bismarck. I build stuff with my hands. I get dirty. My shoes have holes in them some days. And politically, I've been involved with the party for about 10 years. I would like to call myself a super volunteer. I've been in district leadership, party leadership. I've been on the candidate side of things, and I don't have an agenda. I just want to do good by my friends and colleagues. I want to do good for my neighbors, Gary and Margot, and I want to make sure that our world is a place that we can respectfully raise our kids in. And if that seems extreme, I guess that's extreme. Today we have a couple friends of mine in to talk, but really I want to kind of ask you why we're here. Lately, when I see vitriol on TV, I see people angry with selfies in their car and selfie videos, and I see this extremely divided and polarized political spectrum, and all I want to do is find some common ground. I think nationally we hear all these demonization ideas about Democrats, and we're just people, and I think that today's show is going to show that to you. So I would maybe start by asking, why in society are we so mad? Why are we so upset? And I think some of the things that I see from both sides is that our rights are being taken away. We have a government that's not accountable to the constituency. We have candidates that seemingly are bought by every corporation under the sun. And I see both sides saying this. So I really want to find that common ground. And let's, try to disconnect the displacement between Main Street in Pekin, North Dakota, or Pembina, North Dakota, and, in Bismarck and where else. So if you woke up, you feeling any of those feelings, just know that myself, I'm feeling those too. And with that, I have two hosts or guests today. I have John Kelly and Dale Pittman. John.
Yes.
Do you feel like there's a disconnect between your politicians and your own personal views?
Oh, most definitely. For example, the Republican delegation didn't even show up for their own convention. Trygve Hammer talked to many of the Republicans, that actually helped some of them carry stuff into their convention, and he was talking to him. And of course, there are different views on different things, but they did say if Julie wins the primary, they're not going to vote for her.
Interesting. Dale, what do you think? Is there a disconnect between what you're seeing in the news, both locally and nationally? I'll give local credit too, and the way you feel of government?
Absolutely. I've talked to a few folks who have expressed that the polarization is something that concerns folks, that we're all North Dakotans. We're all neighbors. And what we see on TV, where the extremes on both sides are like picking at each other and categorizing groups like we're all in that group. And it's just not true. I mean, when we talk to each other as neighbors, not as Democrats or Republicans. Most people don't even know which party somebody is in, okay? And as far as politicians being disconnected, I look at it like this. In a lot of respects, there's a wall of money between the voter's voice and the ears of the people, especially the ones who are in Washington, D.C. And something's got to change where politicians are more responsive to voters rather than the special interests that they're making their money from.
Well, that's valid. And I'll bring that back to this old adage, you are who you surround yourself with. And one common thread that I've heard from pretty much all of the candidates is that they're out talking to people, they're engaged with their communities, and they're hearing what society needs. And I'm sorry, I'm going to pick on Julie Fedorchak, and it's not a Republican or a Democrat thing, but there is accountability. We need to have that from our leaders. And as I've seen you guys at Band-Aid parades out and about, speaking with your local organizations, I see her having invite-only events that are limited and that the locations aren't disclosed until you sign up. So on that adage, you are who you surround yourself with, is she talking to the people that are facing problems that need to be addressed in society?
I certainly don't think so. Been a member of the Farmers Union for 40 years. And she was at our state convention this past December. And all she could really talk about was how we all shower at the end of the day, and that she's proud to be that. And that's one thing, okay. But then she also said that she had a busy week because she had to go to 7, in the last 7 days, she went to 10 Christmas parties.
Oh.
I don't think anyone who voted for her had her go to Washington to go to parties. She is not representing, in my view, North Dakota and what she's doing. And just as you said, she's not. She doesn't come to North Dakota because she says it's not safe.
Certainly. Well, I'll tell you, let's jump off of that train. Real quick, Dale, you're running for Senate, District 35?
That is correct.
Can you tell us where District 35 is? People don't know.
District 35 is basically from the river to Bismarck Expressway, I-94 to basically Main Street downtown. There's a couple little carve outs in there, but for the most part, it's that section right in the middle of Bismarck.
Bismarck proper. What's your background? So you're running for office. If people had to get a 2-minute snapshot of who you are, who is that person?
All right, so I've been in law enforcement for 44 years. Started when I was 18 years old as a cadet with the Anchorage Police Department. Worked as a patrolman for the Anchorage Police Department for about 12 years. After a buddy of mine got killed in the line of duty, I soured on police work for just a little bit and went to California, worked for the Bureau of Prisons down there as a correctional officer. That was a huge mistake. Got back to Alaska, got with the University of Alaska Police Department, worked my way up to the police chief position. And in 2009, I retired from there, came down to North Dakota where all my wife's family is, and got a job with the North Dakota Insurance Department as a fraud investigator, which is a law enforcement position. And I retired from that in 2024 as the director of the unit. So that alone probably doesn't qualify me to be running for office all by itself. But I can tell you this, as an American that loves this country, as an American that loves the state, as an American that loves his city and his community, that qualifies me all by itself to be running for this office.
No, I absolutely love that background because we hear a lot about back the blue, and it's almost a line between Democrats and Republicans. But you're military, you've walked, or excuse me, you're a law enforcement officer. Yep. You've walked the walk, and thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And also, you work for the state government insurance commission, so you have an idea of how these positions, these budgets, these memorandums of understanding and century code, you understand how all that works.
Yeah, I've worked in the insurance department. Insurance is very complicated all by itself anyway. So I've learned a lot about how insurance works. I've learned about how government works. I actually wrote legislation that passed. I think there was one person that voted against it, and I'm not sure if he just missed the button or what. But so I'm familiar with the political process or the legislative process in the North Dakota Capitol. Seen a lot of the folks. Well, I know I was like Julie Fedorchak. I mean, I've met her during my business dealings. And so, yeah.
Absolutely love it. John,
Yes.
what brings you to, what's your background?
Oh, my background is I was born in Watertown, New York, which is in upstate New York, small town. And then in 1965, our family moved to Barry, Vermont, even smaller town. I graduated from high school in 1972. Then I went to the oldest private military college or university in the nation, Norwich University. I got a business administration degree from them. I also was commissioned second lieutenant in the United States Army Field Artillery. I spent 9.5 years on active duty, 7 years in the reserve. And during that time in the reserves, I worked with FEMA and also the State Emergency Management Department here in Bismarck. I was honorably discharged from the Army as a lieutenant colonel. And I spent about 15 years in retail. During the time that I was doing the reserve work, I farmed my mother-in-law's farm for about 12 years, then 15 years in retail, and then finally 12 years as a certified nursing assistant at our local nursing home. I'm currently on 4 boards, Nelson County Farmers Union and community, Pekin Community, Nelson County Housing Authority, and the local treasurer for the parish.
Well, I think that makes you about as qualified as ever to run for office. You know, military background, you're a farmer, you're on all the boards. So
Yep.
I appreciate you guys sticking with us. We'll be back right after this commercial break to learn a little bit more about these candidates.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Find relief for what ails you at Steepney Tea Apothecary. Teas, supplements, tinctures, and more. Formulated to fight whatever has you down. We're Bismarck Mandan's favorite place to find delicious, natural, and easy ways to alleviate symptoms brought on by anything from colds to cancer. Brew a better you at Steepney Tea Apothecary. Steepney products may cause side effects, including but not limited to improved mood, deeper sleep, enhanced hydration, renewed sense of smell, increased energy levels, superior balance, boosted immunity, proper digestion, restored sense of calm, and a delightful smelling home.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza.
Welcome to Radiant Retreat Tanning and Spa in Mandan, where a relaxing spa experience meets the latest in healing innovations. Take total control of your massage in our Hydro Massage Bed. Experience whole body healing in our Zero Body Cryo Bed. Let our salt sauna and halo generator restore your respiratory and skin health. And of course, tailored tanning will keep you looking as good as you feel. Discover your best self at Radiant Retreat, 1307 First Street Northeast, Mandan.
Are you dealing with arthritis, nerve and back pain, dry skin, or superficial wounds, but found no relief? Give Stewart's Natural Health a try. For over 4 decades, Stewart's Natural Health has been helping people and animals with herbal and natural oil lotions, ointments, and creams with a mission to help you relieve pain and feel your best using the power of nature. Discover the safe, drug-free solution to your pain, guaranteed or your money back. Visit stewartsnatural.health today.
West River Equipment of Mandan is here to help you maintain peak productivity in your operation. As an authorized dealer for many high-quality equipment lines, we have the new and used equipment it takes to make your farming, ranching, or construction operation profitable and efficient. West River Equipment also has the parts on hand and the experienced technicians in our shop to get your equipment back in action fast. Find what you need at West River Equipment on Old Red Trail in Mandan.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to Open Range. My name is Patrick Hart, hosting this episode, and we're going to jump over to our District 35 candidate, Dale Pittman, to hear a little bit about why he's running for Senate in District 35. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So why are you running? What's the impetus?
So I've never been interested in politics at all. After I retired from the state, Trump got elected, and I saw all of the chaos start taking place, and it upset me. It upset me first with the firing of all the inspector generals and the Doge fiasco with the chainsaw, and I became afraid that the country wasn't going in the right direction. So I decided to step up, became the chair for my district. And then as the ICE and the DPS issues started surfacing in Chicago and in Minneapolis, I could see that these agencies weren't working the way professional law enforcement does. And that's what motivated me to step up and do what I can do to try to keep things on track.
Well, I know answering that call to action is hard, and a lot of people don't ever rise to that level. They sit and do this, and it's easy to do that, but it is hard to be that man in the ring, not to use that old adage too much. So what are three maybe top issues that matter to you?
Well, obviously being in law enforcement, my number one thing is safety, okay? So I think every bill that's viewed should be first looked at as, is this making North Dakotans safe? Or is it putting them at risk, either physical or impact for economy or whatever? Second thing would be prosperity. We need to be more prosperous than we are right now. Their wages are stagnant. We're going to see an influx of prices going up over the course of the next year or so. I think it's probably going to get pretty bad. And there's going to need to be some real creative thinking to be able to deal with that. It's going to take some experts to really come in. And then the third thing is civil rights. I mean, what I have seen this past year with all the stuff that has happened with Doge or with DPS and ICE, it just sparks me to say we need to protect people. I firmly believe that Republicans, Democrats, Independents across the spectrum all want the same thing. We want to be safe. We want to be prosperous. We want to be left alone to live our lives. And that's my three priorities right there.
You know, when I see that again, protection, prosperity, civil rights, that is needed. That's pretty fundamental.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's not it's bipartisan across the board. I mean, these are the things that we all want.
So you've been on the trail now for 60 days, 90 days?
That's correct.
What have you seen or heard? What have your interactions with, John Q. Public been like?
Most of it is about people are concerned that we don't get along, that there's all this noise on either side of the other, vilifying each other. And the fact is that we're neighbors. We talk to each other all the time. This is not something that is one side or the other. We're all part of North Dakota culture, and the North Dakota culture is more neighborly and free thinking. And this noise that we see on social media and on TV is not reality. So the concern that I hear from folks is we all just want to get along a little better.
That seems easy peasy to me. When someone's stopped at the side of the road with a flat tire, we pull over, we help them. Do they need a ride? Do they need a cell phone? Can I help you change your tire? It doesn't matter what the political orientation is. Just want to help those around us.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, when we have like a big storm and trees topple, everybody's pulling out their chainsaws. They're not wearing red or blue. They're wearing help.
Yeah. I was in South Bismarck. We had 150 trees fall in our neighborhood last. There was the first Friday storm
Yeah.
in Bismarck.
Mhm.
I am so thankful that none of our neighbors got hurt in all that with chainsawing for days. How can we participate with your race? Are you have any involvement or any events coming up or any public hearings or?
Well, we're running a coordinated campaign between a lot of the Bismarck Mandan people that are running for office. Obviously, money is helpful, So we're going to be in the 4th of July parade. We're going to be doing a lot of neighbor to neighbor walk-arounds, knocking on people's doors, talking to people, finding out what everybody in our community is concerned about mostly, and to introduce ourselves and show that we are viable candidates. All three of us in the district, the 2 people running for the House and myself running for the Senate.
Have you heard anything particular? Any top 2 or 3 issues that people are facing or people are feeling in your neighborhood?
Obviously, affordability. I mean, with the gas prices going up, with all that we're seeing in the Middle East, it is, in my opinion, probably going to get worse before it gets better. With fertilizer not being available, prices on just our crops is probably going to go up tremendously. And we're probably going to feel this impactfully around October, I believe. Right now, gases are up. We're like, yeah, it's costing a little bit more, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. But when we start seeing scarcity, that's going to be a problem.
So I had to fill up this morning. As a contractor, big diesel truck, of course, over $5 a gallon. You drove in.
I drove in from Pekin, which is in Nelson County. I filled up in Jamestown. It was close to $5, $4.99, I believe.
So, I want to make it as local as possible, right? Local issues. But this week, obviously, we've heard, the president's potentially going to suspend the federal gas tax to help make gas a little more affordable. Can I just ask, does 10 or 12 cents, does 15 cents a gallon change the way you look at the price of gas?
Even in Pekin, or Macville, where I fill up, that would lower it to $4.12, something like that.
We were paying $5 a gallon during Biden, after the pandemic and all the issues that were happening across the world with that. This is a world economy when it comes to fuel.
Sure.
So right now, I mean, reducing the tax, 15 cents, it's going to take away revenue that we need to pay for whatever this war is.
Absolutely.
And it's not going to be that big of a drop.
Well, and that was one of my concerns. So we're going to reduce the amount of revenue that the government's taking in. And the reason we're going to do it is because we're fighting a new war in the Middle East. So we're spending billions, trillions of dollars on this war, and we're reducing revenue at the same time. And again, when I say common ground, does it make sense to, bankrupt the government? At what cost are we doing this for?
No, it doesn't make any sense at all to do it that way.
So what are some solutions, do you guys think? How can we, maybe get this down a little bit? Is EV an option? Refineries hard to permit?
Well, EV is obvious is an option. I'm not really sure. There's got to be people out there that are smarter than me that can do that. And if elected, that's where I'm going to be looking for. But they could go into the reserves. That would help a little bit. But then again, we're still talking about revenues. So.
Well, I'll tell you, let's pivot really quick. We're talking about money, though. Can I ask you guys, candidates, part of it's raising money, calling donors for dollars.
Yep.
Can I be so blunt to ask you how much you've each raised in your race?
Sure you can. I've raised $750 so far.
Yeah.
John?
I got a couple of donations yesterday. probably a little over $2,000.
Hey, those are, I'll say,
Yeah, it was. I've been so fortunate. Adjacent districts have stepped up, and District 29 is 5 counties, and so District 22, District 24 rather, and District 12 both kicked in very healthy checks, and some friends have also done a lot for my campaign.
I think that the raising money is important, but my process is going to be going around talking to voters in my district one-on-one and introducing myself. That doesn't cost me a dime.
well, you know what I think is important, and I'll push on this again, is we want to talk to the people who are feeling the strain, the crunch, to hear what their issues are so that we can address them. And again, it's all about how you surround yourself. So if you guys are talking about, together raising $3,000 or $4,000, we just saw the governor pump in almost $200,000 into races that he's trying to earmark to spin the government to reflect who he wants in office. Is anyone talking to you guys about big money in politics?
I haven't seen anyone step up and do that for me. I just don't think that. Well, you can throw money at anything, but I think it's the $50 donations, the $100 donations. Those, they add up. Like I said, I have a 5-county district: Nelson, Griggs, Foster, Steele, and parts of Stutzman. So it does help to have some a treasury that you can take some gas money and go around. And as Dale said, I'm definitely going to be talking and knocking on doors, and I intend to be in all 5 counties.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks, you guys out in TV land, for tuning in. We'll be back after this short commercial break.
Base Flug Trailers of Dickinson is a family-owned dealer with expert staff that know their products front to back. We stock over 150 units of all types and can custom order a trailer with the unique features and capabilities you require for brands you can trust. Our experienced service team is the reason we're also the best place to have your trailer customized or repaired. Count on Base Flug Trailers of Dickinson to keep you hauling.
Come on in and experience small town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. Cassette Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Yeah, U.S. Cattlemen is a member organization that each member has a vote in anything we do with policy. We're representing the independent cattleman or the cow-calf guy or an independent feeder or whatever. We like to support the independent producer. We're talking about mandatory ID. We're talking about cool. We're talking about all the legislation that's going to be coming down with the new administration. There's going to be lots of moving and shaking. So always check us out at our website, uscattleman.org.
I'm $27,000 in credit card debt.
Okay.
You have to radically do something different, because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting.
Now's not the time to be doing math. The time to be doing math was when we didn't go into $200,000 of debt.
If you are freaked out and you're stuck in those debt payments and you think it has to be part of your life, it doesn't.
We are Ladies of Another View. Join us every weekday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. as we discuss the big topics from North Dakota, the nation, and around the world.
We chat with everyone from celebrities and medical professionals to politicians, local business owners, and neighbors about the topics and stories that affect all of us.
We are unscripted and uncensored real news from real people. So join us every weekday morning for Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Welcome back to the latest episode of Open Range. My name is Patrick Hart, and I'm here with two Senate candidates, John Kelly and Dale Pittman. And right before the break, we were talking about money in politics and how people can influence, maybe disproportionately, the candidates that you see advertisements for. Dale, what do you think? Do we need more money in politics or less?
I think we need less. I think we need, if money is coming to politics or politicians, I think it actually should come from individual people. And there should be some kind of incentive for people to donate to campaigns. Having PAC money, corporate money, special interest money going to particular candidates almost feels like a buy-off. It might not be, because you can vote your conscience whatever you want to vote whenever you get into the office, but you got to get there. Okay. With the little bit of money that I've got, I intend to do with it what I can, but I'm also learning how to be a fiscally frugal legislator.
I love that. Conservative Democrats. I think if people had a lot more conversations, we would see that maybe that's a lot more of the case. But John, we'll turn to you. We haven't really talked. So you're running Pekin area.
Yep.
We just had a map up of your district. Maybe we can get that up here in a couple seconds.
Sure.
So why are you running? What are you?
Well, the reason that I'm running, the issue that spurred me to throw my hat into the ring is the school breakfast, free school, free lunches and breakfasts for public school students, K through 12. The last legislative session, that bill passed in the House by a margin of 54 to 34. In the Senate, it failed by 2 votes. Unfortunately, my opponent, Terry Wanzik, voted against it. Had he voted for it, it would have been a tie, and the president of the Senate would have voted for it, so it would have passed. It's a $65 million bill, or at least at that time it was. $65 million to the normal, my everyday constituents is a lot of money. The budget, or the last budget, was for the state of North Dakota was $20 billion. Okay. The legacy fund has $13 billion in it. Every biennium, and I know the Bakken isn't working right now, but the oil revenue that goes into the legacy fund when it is working, every biennium is $397 million. The math of that is $65 million is 9% of that. I don't like legislators on any level or any level of government that look and say, well, we can't do that, and we can't do that. We don't have enough money. There's ways of looking for money to spend. You can't buy everything, but you can buy the things that you need. This bill was 80% popular with North Dakotans. So he voted against his constituents.
Have you signed the initiated measure petition yet?
Yes, I did.
And Dale, you're in?
Yep.
You guys think that's going to pass this fall?
They got over 57,000 signatures, and 80%, and people still want it. When I bring that up, when I'm talking on the campaign trail, everyone is just shaking their heads going, yep, that's what we want. So I know it crosses the aisle. And well, as it showed in the House, it crossed the aisle because there's a supermajority of Republicans in the legislature now.
So you're running for office. What's your vision? You're going to get elected. Do you have any bills that you've already thought of bringing forth, or
what I'm really looking to do? As I said, I am a farmers union member for over 40 years, and every year of those 40 years, we have been fighting for the corporate farming law in North Dakota. I don't mean to vilify Terry Wanzik, but he is the person that weakened that law. Now, if you're a cousin or a relative from another state, you can be part of a corporation in North Dakota as a farmer. I have no problem with a family farm incorporating. That's tax breaks, whatever. That's fine. But what I don't want is dark money coming into North Dakota. And I feel that that's something that just can't, that we can't do. I also want to see as my wife she just retired as a nurse practitioner for over 40 years. I really want to make sure that rural health is helped out because rural hospitals need our help because of the cuts to Medicaid.
Well, I heard that a lot when I was on the campaign trail in 24. When I think of Lisbon and Langdon, there's regional medical hubs that really probably one of the highest paying jobs in that area.
Yeah. Macville has a rural hospital, a nursing home and a clinic. And there's also Nelson County has a clinic up in Michigan. Those are going, we have a foundation and thankfully we're doing okay, but the Medicaid cuts are going to affect a lot of North Dakota.
How can we learn more about your campaign? Do you have any events coming up, or?
Actually, I do. I'll be going to Park River on Friday, and I'll be going to Valley City on Tuesday, talking with District 24 people. And starting on the 13th of June, that's parade, starts the parades. So I'll be doing parades from June 13th well into September and October.
We did 19 parades, Merrill Peppercorn and I, at our last election, and it was really strange this weekend. I know I saw you in the Band-Aid parade.
Yep.
Not to be in that, but I absolutely love parade season and putting that energy out there.
But it'll let you come.
Yeah. So what's maybe you're running as a Democrat?
Yep.
But what's like the number one issue that maybe just tilts you left a little bit? What's your number one thing that brings you to this side?
I have to go back to the free breakfasts and lunches for the kids. Again, my opponent voted for an increase to per diem. It's fine to get him some money and for food and lodging, but he can't seem to find the money for the kids. Public education I strongly support public education, and any way that we can help that, I'm for it. There's a Senate appropriation bill right now that current senators are going to be looking at, an increase of 2%. 2% does nothing. It doesn't buy pencils. You still have teachers buying school supplies. if North Dakota wants to see public schools, and I think they do, you just got to elect more Democrats, because they're not going to allow a 2% increase. And I know I've talked to other legislators, and there are people in the legislature that you can actually talk to across the aisle. And they want to see more Democrats, because it's kind of a curse to have a supermajority, because then you have to go back and explain everything.
We have to own it when it happens. Then,
absolutely.
You know, if
Absolutely.
we're going to have a conservative government passing the biggest budget ever, there has to be some accountability there. And as far as like education, I mean, I just saw a recent poll that said North Dakota teacher pay dropped from like 21st in the nation to 44th. We got to pay these people.
We definitely do. My sister-in-law taught for 40 years, and she was a special ed teacher, and it's ridiculous the amount that they get paid. They need more money. That's all there is to it.
Absolutely do. I want us. I want smart people.
Absolutely.
That know there's a future in their job security in small towns, teaching our kids what they need to learn so they can be productive in society.
There was a program. I'd have to look into it, but there was a program that my sister-in-law took advantage of. If you got a teaching degree in North Dakota and you worked as a teacher in North Dakota, every year they took some of that student debt away. If you can do it for teachers, you can do it for just about anybody else too. If you want to get a degree or a law degree or a doctorate degree, whatever, help them be a rural doctor for 5 years or whatever.
Well, and I think programs like that are going to quit, or going to start keeping our kids here after they get out of college.
Absolutely.
We're going to cut to a commercial break. We'll be back with our last segment with John Kelly and Dale Pittman. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I want to tell you, Lady Blue and I, we got a lot of miles together. But you know what? You and I got a lot of miles together as well. And all I want to do is bring to you the information on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations. I'm going to continue to travel the world and unearth the stories that make it possible that we can live in a free United States of America.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza. Are you dealing with arthritis, nerve and back pain, dry skin, or superficial wounds, but found no relief? Give Stewart's Natural Health a try. For over 4 decades, Stewart's Natural Health has been helping people and animals with herbal and natural oil lotions, ointments, and creams with a mission to help you relieve pain and feel your best using the power of nature. Discover the safe, drug-free solution to your pain, guaranteed or your money back. Visit stewartsnatural.health today.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We are building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
Ashley, North Dakota is where life moves a little slower, but never gets dull. From hunting, camping, and fishing to safe streets where kids can be kids, this is the best of small town living. And Ashley offers everything you need, from healthcare to hardware to countless ways to stay active. Here, we've invested in our future with major upgrades to roads, parks, and education. Whether you're here for the day or here for life, you'll find Ashley's where you ought to be.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Hello, my name is Patrick Hart, guest hosting Open Range this week. Thanks, Gary Emineth, of course, Beck, and our sponsors for letting us take this time in front of you. Today, I have two Senate candidates. I have John Kelly and Dale Pittman. And, you know, I'll tell you, you mentioned, can I put you back on the hot seat?
Absolutely.
You're a farmer. Obviously, we're seeing farm inputs. We're hearing it all the time, are increasing.
Yep.
What kind of stress are you seeing out in rural North Dakota?
Well, it is, you know, you see tractors out in fields now. Well, it's planting season, spring's here, spring's work is going. How they're paying for diesel, I have absolutely no idea. I know that when I was farming back in the 80s, that was a different way of farming. Now you can buy diesel and fertilizer ahead of time, which is fine. I don't think everybody did that. Fertilizer costs, because of the war, is going to go through the roof, and it already has. You're going to see that go into the results of that this fall when harvest comes in. They absolutely need, and nitrogen and urea. We don't produce that. That comes through the strait. So we have to find a way to help our farmers. There isn't a farmer in North Dakota or this country that wants a bridge payment, anything like that. They would much rather have fair prices, and that's what I'll be striving for, or try to get our government to do.
Well, absolutely. And to everyone out listening too, if you're driving rural North Dakota, you see these big implements going down the road 12, 14 miles an hour. That is all the faster they can drive. Please give them grace this planting season. And I really, as far as farmers, the line of credit to put their crops in, all year they're working for that market at the end of the cycle. And unfortunately, sometimes the markets aren't there either.
It is the only business where you as a producer don't get to choose how much you want to pay. I know that you're a contractor. Your input costs, your bottom line is influenced by that. So if you're going to build a deck, the input of the lumber, labor, all that kind of stuff. Farmer, and it happened to me more times than I want to think about. You start putting your seed in at one price, and once you're just hoping, it's the biggest gamble that you'll ever make. You're hoping for a decent price so you can just break even. I know some farmers, a young farmer, this is his fourth season, and his input is going to be over $1 million. He thinks he's going to be able to, at least break even, or maybe a little bit more. But it's farmers are going to be hit very hard, especially in the fall.
Well, one thing we're seeing, and you mentioned this, Dale, in the break, you're in Bismarck. There's a lot of talk about data centers, eminent domain, taking land, energy away from rural North Dakota. What are your thoughts? Is this something that needs to be regulated, or are we just going to keep rubber stamping these units?
So I am familiar with what AI is, and I know that there's a worldwide race now for generative AI, which is the smarter computer. And tech companies are investing billions and billions of dollars in that race. I can't imagine that they're investing that kind of money without expecting that it's going to pay off in the end. It's kind of like building the railroad back in the 1800s. They didn't know for sure that anybody would move out that way, but they built it anyway. So I'm supportive of AI. The data centers, however, if they're unregulated, it's a problem. They create noise. The water consumption, you can recycle water, but you got to drain it off every now and then to clean it out, so you're still spending it. And building them close to populated areas is problematic. I think it needs to be carefully regulated, both the data center situation and AI when it starts really coming on board, to make sure that our people are benefiting from it, from North Dakotans are benefiting.
Well, the two questions that I've come up with this week that I'm confused, I don't have answers yet. And if you guys have them, please let me know. But, I remember buying my first computer, 30 years ago when I was 15, 16 years old. And that technology, within a year, was obsolete. So they're putting these money into these units. Do you guys know how long the lifespan of a data center is?
I don't know, but you mentioned about a computer. When I was in college, calculator that we take for granted. This calculator can only do so many functions. It could add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and do square roots. Now, how much that cost? $150. The engineer that was using that, an electrical engineer at that, was using that. And he said, my professor says in 5 years, this is going to cost $10. And he was right on.
So the data center infrastructure, my understanding is it has to be like recycled every 4 to 5 years. Okay. So all those big buildings with all those computers, they're going to be cycling all that stuff out. So it's going to be a continual cost. Again, private organizations, these tech companies are paying for that. It's going to have to be beneficial in the end, you would think. So the big concern is power. So right now, the estimate is that when AI really gets going, it's going to consume 25% of the government's, of the nation's use of power, which means we're either going to have to reduce consumption across the board, or we're going to have to increase the ability to create power, which is going to be what? More fossil fuel systems? Atomic energy? I mean, where are we going to go with this? So these are complex questions that need complex solutions, and we need to think about it now so that by the time these futures hit us, we're prepared.
I love that proactive approach. It's an emerging market. Let's get ahead of it before, so we do have controls on it. Got about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
John, this went quick, huh?
Yeah, it did. It did very, very quick.
Can you take a minute or two, tell the voters why you're the guy?
Well, my website is up and running. You can go there. It has my bio. It has the places that I want, the issues that I want. It even has a way that you can get a hold of me, and of course, a button to donate. But there's the website right there up on the screen now. That lovely picture of mine. But you just go to Dem-NPL.com/John Kelly, the number 4D29 Senate, and it has all my information.
Appreciate it. Dale, can I give you that same question? Why would the voters want to vote for you this cycle?
So I would ask for people's vote because I have high integrity. I have leadership skills. I have wisdom. I've got humanity that I want to express into our legislative system. I'm just a common American who wants to make an impact for the people of this country, for the state.
Well, I appreciate both you guys for running this cycle. I know it is hard. Any highlights from the campaign trail yet this year? If you had one or two highlights, lowlights?
Everyone has been so, I'm humbled by the way people have greeted me. First thing out of their mouth is glad that you're running. That tells me, and a lot of those people can't vote for me, but some of them do. So I'm very, very thankful for that.
It's just been a pleasure to get out and meet people and talk to people who have been concerned about what's going on with our nation, and looking for somebody to bring the kind of leadership that they respect.
Well, I thank you guys both for running. And I'll tell you, kind of in the wrap up this today, I would ask if you have out there, have you felt that as a society, we've started to take peace for granted, especially here within our country, where typically we do get along very well. Now, you know, I've been watching war for my whole life, and I know my father did before me, and I'm appalled at the destruction and the rhetoric we're hearing towards each other. And I would just simply ask for what? How does all this anger, how does all this vitriol help each other? And why are we spending all this money tearing things down instead of building each other up? Now, today we talked to two gentlemen running for North Dakota Senate, and we talked about building each other up, making sure our government's a better place, making sure our educators have the resources and the tools they need. And I would just ask you guys out in TV land if you think that we're on the right path or the wrong path, and if the money that we're spending as a government is appropriate or not. And I guess with that, we'll send it to commercial break. Thanks for coming out today. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time.